So there are two big groups when it comes to opinions on systemized education. First, there's the group that's clowned on, the one that's ridiculed, the one that says, "Oh, it's the best thing in the world. It should be everyone's priority. Hell yes, systemized education. We love school. School, get a cool job, go to university, do whatever." And then there's the group that says that you should forget about it, that it teaches you how to fail, that pretty much everything that comes out of school, out of systemized education, is the devil. So, with this video, I'm going to try to give a bit of a more middle grounded opinion on the whole thing that hopefully you can use to actually better your relationship with systemized education. Whether you are currently in it, whether you have people who you know that are in it or have already been in it and are trying to think over, trying to ruminate on the experience. I will be trying to give you my honest opinion of a person who is still pretty early on in the system to see, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? What's the opinion of a 13-year-old? So, my experience with systemized education was pretty bullshit in the beginning. I did not have a lot of fun with it. I, too, for a long time, thought that it was really, really good, right? When I was a retarded child, when I was like 5 years old. Of course, every single child thinks that school is the best thing that they can do. Then you hit puberty. Then I hit like 12 years old, right? Like a year ago. And I realized I don't really like this. This is getting kind of hard. My grades started to plummet a little bit. And of course, I started to dislike it. Of course, I started to dislike it. But this year, I've come to a bit of a middle ground between the two things, between the two extreme opinions. Because I found a way of studying and actually enjoying it. Now, what are the actual defects that you have with systemized education? The defect, the worst thing in my opinion, is the environment that you are in. You are surrounded by teachers that are probably miserable at school, that are not enjoying their jobs, as far as you know, and as far as you can see, and also by your classmates, which, if you are watching this channel, probably do not have the same interests as you, or are still not developed enough to actually have a good conversation and be serious during lecture. So the worst thing, in my opinion, is the environment. It is the worst thing that it exists in school. The other bad thing is the amount of time that it takes up. There are so many little things that school takes up. Oh, you get homework. You need to work at home because of school. Never mind the 8 hours that you spend in it. Okay, whatever. It takes 10 hours of your day. The good thing is that you have 6 more that you can weaponize to your liking, and may or may not be filled with studying, but I'll talk about that later. It takes up a lot of your time, and it is a really bad environment. So objectively, it shouldn't really be enjoyed if it's a bad environment that you spend a lot of time in. What are the positives? One of my teachers actually was talking about a positive that I really, really like. He said, "We don't really realize the opportunities given to us by school until we are adults." That is insane, because personally, my school is like a public school, but it is a pretty important school. It's a good school. We just met the ambassador of Sweden. That's a pretty good opportunity to meet a person that's in a decently high position of control in a Scandinavian country while you're in a Balkan country. That's a pretty good opportunity that was given by school. I'm completely, I love that. It's great. What other opportunities? In the Balkans, in Romania, I don't know if in the Balkans or in the rest of Europe, you get Olympiads, you get competitions that you can attend. For example, have a Spanish Olympiad. Let's call them competitions, Olympics, right? Spanish competition, English competition, grammar competition, math competition, biology competition. All of these competitions that are really, really cool. Because if you get to the maximum phase of each one, which is like the national contest, you can actually like go to like Cluj-Napoca or go to another like really cool city in your country, I think for free, to God hopes a good hotel and actually do well. So if you actually know how to study, if you like school and enter these competitions and do well in them, enjoy doing them, there is a lot of like opportunity to do cool things. And then of course, you have the little things that you can play around with when it comes to school. What cool thing can you do during class? What cool thing can you say to that girl in lunch time? What can you do? There's a lot of like little opportunities with school, which is why I have a pretty good opinion of it. How do you study? How do you study for school? I, this is a vast subject that I don't really want to get into in this hopefully short video. So I'll leave a couple of videos in the description for you to watch. But it is a lot easier than you think. It is so much simpler than most nerds or people who are failing with the educational system are thinking that it is. Of course, the tips for actually studying are near infinite. You probably do need to find something that is specific to you. But if you don't get something, a tip on how to study, you're probably going to get screwed. That is just the simple truth. There is just not a way you can study yourself without some guidance that can get you good grades and make you happy. It's impossible, except for the person who created those tips. And if you want to create your tips by yourself without having to look up tips, you can do that. But it is hard. It is hard, and you'll probably just waste a lot of time coming up with tips that are already existent. Whatever. So, in conclusion, how is school? Is school worth it? Yes, in my opinion, it is worth it. I was just kind of like recently meditating on the idea, do I really want to take the systemized education to its natural conclusion? Do I want to go to university when I could be doing other things? Starting entrepreneurship, I don't know. Do I want to do that? And the answer is yes. I probably do not want to get like a job because that's pretty miserable in my opinion, and I've seen a lot of people being corrupted by it. But going to university, I do think if you have the money and do not put yourself in financial debt, massive financial debt over it, is a pretty fun experience. Uni is a pretty fun experience. I don't know anything about it, but as an outsider looking from the outside, I can say, wow, that is something that is worth doing. Getting that cool certificate doesn't matter. That cool certificate can like be obtained in 4 weeks by doing other things. Read Timothy Ferris' 4-Hour Work Week if you want to find out. But it is a cool thing. School is a cool thing if you know how to use it. If you go there and waste 8 hours of your day, there's no point. And let me be honest, however you are, you can be in 3 positions. You are in systemized education, you see people who are in systemized education, and have been in systemized education. School. The only thing that you can do is kind of have fun with it. Because if you are in school, your parents reasonably should not be letting you get out of it. If you already have been, you should look at it with excitement, like, wow, I did this, I'm happy I did this. And if you have other people, you can either be neutral about it or be positive, because there's nothing you can do. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's the way. Do you want to escape it? You can escape it. But the truth is that in like modern society, it gives a really good sense of security for entrepreneurs, for anything. Entrepreneurs, if they have a college degree, they're going to be a lot less stressed in the race to become an entrepreneur. That's just a truth. You're going to be less stressed if you go to school. And if you go to school, enjoy it. I beg of you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.